2008 Comprehensive Plan Amendments. Al, who's up first?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Al Scalp, DCD Director, and a number of long-range planners, of which Karen has been kind of managing this final report, so I'll turn it over to Karen Barrows, Assistant Planner. Karen.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. And you have an extensive packet this morning with this agenda request, which contains all the final DCD staff recommendations on the comp plan amendment cycle for 2008. And I will mention that all of the final staff recommendations are the same as the staff recommendations you have in the attachment that is the integrated staff report and SEBA addendum issued September 3rd, 2008. In addition, there are thumbnail sketches of each of the Planning Commission recommendations contained within the 7-page agenda request with the votes, and a few highlights about the findings and conclusions the Planning Commission found. In addition, there is a signed letter with the Planning Commission recommendations in your packet, as well as a signed letter. 2 members of the Planning Commission submitted a minority report. 3 Planning Commissioners are present in chambers today, including Vice Chair Bill Miller, in case you'd like to direct any questions or comments to them. A notable aspect of this agenda request and what staff is requesting from you this morning, comes from the fact that on one of the applications, MLA 0869, the Planning Commission voted a tie vote on 2 separate occasions. And because there's a tie in accordance with 1845-0802B, you cannot possibly as a board agree with that recommendation. So it comes up to you as a non-recommendation, and under the circumstances, a public hearing is required. So we are requesting as staff that you direct us to schedule a public hearing, and we have taken the liberty of scheduling that public hearing in the interest of time for December 1st at 5 p.m. in Superior Court. Also in your packet here is a notice for your signature, Mr. Chairman, if you so approve.
In addition, we'd like to discuss the record. The applications from the original submittal last March, of course, are in the record. The entire Planning Commission record is part of the record of written testimony, all the oral testimony, the deliberations of the Planning Commission, their written findings, conclusions, their minutes. All the correspondence that's came in from the citizens since that time have come to the department and will be incorporated as we move forward to you for the December 1st. The action we're seeking from the board is in view of the Planning Commission recommendation, particularly the no recommendation, and as an entire docket has got to be considered cumulatively. Therefore, staff's recommendation is that you schedule the public hearing, you do not deliberate today on any of the merits of the proposals, and that you proceed to listen from the citizens and the public and the agencies and tribes, and then close that public hearing on December 1st, deliberate, enter your own findings, and make decisions relative to the comprehensive plan amendment cycle.
And it's that cumulative aspect that we have to look at all of them is the reason they all go forward, not just the ones that there's questions about, or the ones where there's no recommendation because it's a tie.
Yes.
The ones where everybody's voting 8-0 and we might agree with, we have to carry those along.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have to pass these by, or deny by the end of the year.
December 8th is the second regular board meeting in December. So it would be December 8th would be the final
December 8th.
decision.
We have a public hearing in December.
Yes.
December 1, public hearing and final action subsequent.
Is it customary that the staff report, the staff recommendations don't change after Planning Commission has deliberated and made their recommendations?
It changes each year. Last year, staff did modify their recommendation on a proposal and concurred with the Planning Commission.
Okay.
So it's the nature of the planning agency, which is comprised of the planning department, and the Planning Commission becomes the planning agency. Our goal is often to bring you the planning agency's majority opinion. In this case, staff stays with their original preliminary staff recommendation reflected in the September staff report. And we bring forward both the Planning Commission recommendation and the staff's, and we did not alter our position. but it's not necessarily customary that we would always say that to you. In some years, we may change our mind as well.
Should be expected with new information and input from the public.
And it's kind of interesting that perspective, because I think staff will bring forward the planning principles and the legal requirements under the Growth Management Act and standards set forth by the comprehensive plan and our development regulations that guide you procedurally. As the planning commission more is in the legislative role as yourself and reflecting the values and principles of the community at large.
Oh, I did notice there was an additional staff comment on the Iron Mountain request, recognizing the MPR as UGA prior to the MPR designation.
Yeah, Port Ludlow was an interim urban growth area in 1994 and 1995. Subsequently invalidated by the Growth Management Hearings Board, found non-compliant, which led into the planning process of the master plan resort being designated in 1998.
Well, I would move that we direct the DCD to conduct the BOCC will conduct a public hearing on December 1st at 5 p.m.
Second that?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to have a public hearing on the proposed comp plan amendments December 1st at 5 p.m. in the Superior Court. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Recessing till 10:30?
Looks like it.